Hi, my name is Karthik and I am from executeautomation.com, and welcome to part 31 of our C# for automation testing video series. And in this video, we'll be talking about C# 7's new feature, which is nothing but the expression bodied members. So before watching this part, I would request you to watch part 28, since in that part we discuss some of these concepts in much greater detail. Alright, so let's get started. Expression bodied members. Expression body definitions let you provide a members implementation in a very concise, readable form. You can use an expression body definition whenever the logic for any supported member, such as method or property, consists of single expressions. An expression body definitions has following general syntax. As you can see, you'll have a member and then there is a lambda expression followed by the expression itself. So this is the expression bodied member. And if you don't really get what this whole paragraph is all about, don't worry about it yet, because we're going to discuss about that in much greater detail in practicals while we start writing the code. So is it a new concept altogether in C# 7.0, which is nothing but the expression bodied member? Well, of course, no. Since the expression bodied member concept was introduced in C# 6.0 for methods and properties set accessor, you can note that there is a properties set accessor. So it was only applicable for set accessor for any properties, and it was introduced in 6.0 of C#. You can see that for a method, we can write something like public void print name, and then followed by the lambda expression, and then console.writeLine of name, something like that. So if you just write like this, it's going to print you out the name while you call this particular method print name. Similarly, you can also set a value something like this for the properties set accessor, but not for the get accessor. But then in C# 7.0, we now have the concept extended to properties get and set accessors, constructor definitions, and single assignment of members and method calls, finalizers, and indexers. So these are the extended concepts of the existing C# 6.0. So now we're going to see exactly the same thing in our practical demonstration. As you can see, for the example of the property get and set accessor, the code is going to look something like this. You can see we are going to set a value for the salary properties using the get of the lambda expression of salary, and set of the salary is equal to the value. So this is much readable and much neater way than before. And for the constructor initialization, we can do something like this. Initially, we used to write public students of string gender and open and close parentheses, and within the body we write this dot gender is equal to gender, something like that. But right now the code is much simplified using the lambda expressions, or otherwise called as the expression bodied members. So let's quickly see everything in action and understand how things work. So for that, I'm going to flip to our GitHub client. Alright, so right now I'm in our GitHub client, and I have already added a lot of the codes that we have discussed so far in our videos. For the throws expression, the code was the last added. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to again open the code from our GitHub. So basically I can just go over here to the changes. There is no change, so I'm going to open the repo, and then I'm going to open my Visual Studio. You can see that I have updated the Visual Studio to 15.3 version, I guess. And also I have made one small change in my Visual Studio this time. I have installed the ReSharper, and I will show you some of the cool features of ReSharper as well. And you can really like ReSharper when you start working with C#, because this tool is one of the most handy and most used tool by a lot of developers right now. And you can see that ReSharper Ultimate is asking for the feedback, so I'm just going to leave it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working with our existing code base that we have already. So basically it's all checked in code, and I'm going to start writing the new codes all together. So the first thing we'll see is the property expression bodied members, what is called as a printing a name. So for that I'm going to do this public void print name, and then I will just write a classical method that we all know what it is. So basically we used to do is this: the name of student is name, right? I'm gonna save this code, and if I print this code, it's gonna work fine. But do you see this a hammer symbol on the side? it says that to verbatim interpolation. So if I do this, it will also say that to expression body. Basically, this is actually coming from resharper, and resharper is very, very handy. As I said before, it will tell you some of the cool nifty tricks that you can do with the code, and it automatically understand what .NET framework you have, and it will give you suggestion based on the framework version of your code. So if I hit this, you can see that the code will automatically turn into what the code that we have to write for our expression bodied member. So it is basically saying that this is the code that you can write in this way as well, which is so cool, right? And this is something that's available in C# 6.0 as well, not just the 7.0 new feature. But yes, this is really, really cool that you can write the whole method without these phrases and all those things. Pretty faster and pretty neater way, right? And you can also see that it'll also tell you an option to revert back to the existing code, something like that, right? So I pretty much like this particular piece of code. I'm gonna hold this for now, and let's come back to the class of the student and also write a constructor, something like this. And I'm gonna set the name for the students here. So basically this is the name, and if I set the name property as name in here, again, once again, the hammer guy comes in of the resharper. So I'm gonna go over here, it says to expression body. If I do this, there we go, the code instantly changes to what we are about to, and it is automatically changing everything for us, which is really, really cool and awesome. And you can do this without resharper as well if you know the syntax pretty much. So yeah, this is one kind of handy way of doing it, right? And now I'm going to come back to our program.cs file, and here for the students, I'm going to actually pass the name for the student as, let's say, Karthik, and let me do this. So instead of this console.writeLine, which we were using before, I'm just going to call the method print name that we wrote. And now if I try to run this particular piece of code, you should see that the Karthik should be printed, but for some reason there is some error, right? Oh, okay, so this is all happening because we don't have a default constructor in the students class. So why don't we just put one, because our existing code is going to complain as some problem there. Right, no problem, no harm. I'm going to run this code again, and you can see that it is going to print the name of student is Karthik, which is cool. And this is how you can work with the expression bodied members in much simpler way. And the last thing which I was about to show is the property get and set. Let me hop over to our #7, right, new features. And here I'm going to create a property. Let's call this as salary. Of course, no student get a salary unless until he works part-time. But yeah, as of now, I'm going to create a student as who's going to get a salary, something like this. And then I'm going to create a public method, which is going to have the salary itself. And it's going to be get, and it's going to return you the salary, which is going to be set. And then I'm going to set a value which is going to be the salary is equal to the value, right? So this is how we can write a property. And again, our hammer guy is here. It says a bulb symbol this time, not the hammer, but the bulb. It says to expression body. There we go. You can see automatically it changes things for us. This ugly piece of code is being changed this time to a hammer guy. There we go. So the resharper is really, really cool, and you can actually use resharper a lot, and it will bring all the methods, the definitions, decompile the code for you, do a lot of things for you, which is really, really handy when you start working with automation in a bigger project. And I really love resharper a lot. Basically, this video is to price resharper's new features as well as the new features of C# 7.0 itself, and it automatically tells you what are the different new features which is available in C# by itself, right? So this is how you can write the expression bodied member for the properties get and set, for the constructor, and for the method. I'm not really going to touch about the indexers and finalizers for now, but yes, you get an idea of how to work with the new features of C# 7.0 and in much greater detail, and hope you will implement this in automation testing as well. So once again, thank you very much for watching these videos, guys, and have a great day.